Okay, it's your buddy Mike Messier. A fellow wrestling fan requested that I do a rant or a statement about the Sasha Banks developments, and also just kind of this premise or this conversation amongst wrestling fans and wrestlers too, former and current. Are they entitled? Are the wrestlers acting entitled? Are they being entitled brats or acting like entitled brats? Or is it the squeaky mouse or mice or meese get the fucking oil? I mean, pick your poison, folks. I mean, what it comes down to for me is that, as Jesse Ventura has talked about, there is no wrestlers union. Um, AEW apparently has made some murmurings about having health care for their wrestlers full time, whatever. Look, you know, that John Oliver thing a few weeks ago hit upon a lot of these points of the wrestlers not having health care and so forth, and it's tough. It's a tough fucking business. I'm not a professional wrestler, but I can tell you I've been in the dressing room. These wrestlers, male and female, work very hard. Never take away anything from the talent. But to say, is Sasha being entitled? I don't know. I mean, she's younger. I think she's younger than 30. So her ethics and her morality are coming from a place of her generation. And the millennial generation gets a bad rap. But there does seem to be something about, the convenience of smartphones, the convenience of the technology. Everyone's got a tablet. You don't have to think for yourself. You don't have to read a book. You just Google shit. And so some of that stuff builds into this entitlement thing. Personally, I think Sasha Banks is a great athlete, meaning that her crispness is what I refer to. When I think I've been eating blueberries, by the way, infused fucking craisins. So if I look a little craisiny, that's why. But Sasha Banks, in my book, is very crisp. Crisp is the word I use. She's on the smaller side. That's why, again, I'm against intergender wrestling. I don't want to see Sasha Banks versus Braun Strowman. I'm sorry. I mean, people think of intergender wrestling. They think, ooh, fucking Becky's going to wrestle John Cena or Becky's going to wrestle Seth. But, who gives a fuck? I'm talking about keeping Sasha Banks out of the ring with Brock Lesnar. So people are giving her a hard time. Ryan Satan or whatever the fuck, reporting that she's lying on the hotel floor, throwing up her, protest, and Bailey's protesting. They're so upset that they've lost their women's tag team title. Sasha responds with a black and white photograph of her and Bailey and the Iconics together. And it's just like, what does this prove? Like Sasha is now proving, I don't care that we lost. Look, we're all happy that we lost these belts. So it's like now the media, if you want to call Ryan Satan the media, saying that this is something that happened, that they were so pissy about losing. And Sasha's like, no, we're not pissy about losing. We're happy to lose. So just destroying the business, destroying kayfabe. And I know it's a fucking Young Bucks joke and all this shit. Do I think she's entitled? I don't know. I think that she's got a point, though. And I've been kind of arguing that on social media today. I think that fucking Sasha has a point, meaning that if you look at her career trajectory against Charlotte's, you can see that, Sasha was the one the fans were chanting for. When these two were still, just being brought up to the main roster after being in NXT, people were chanting for Sasha Banks. They weren't chanting for fucking Charlotte Flair. So in that case, like I said, I wrote this out today. Sasha, has been passed by Charlotte. She was passed by Alexa Bliss, meaning her career in the main roster. She was passed by Asuka, and now she's passed by Ronda. And it looks like she's passed by Becky Lynch, and she's passed by fucking Lacey Evans. So if I'm, Sasha, which I'm obviously not, and I'm seeing 5-6 women come and be the big star for a while, and Sasha's always in these fucking middle of the card matches, and yes, she won 3 women's titles. She barely had them any time. I can see why she's pissed. And as a competitor, And people say, well, it's all a work, blah, blah, blah. Well, look, do you want to be Pete Doherty or do you want to be Hulk Hogan? Do you want to be Alex Riley or do you want to be John Cena? Do you want to be fucking Gilbert or Goldberg? You know what I mean? Like, people, I don't see why it's a problem. I don't see why people are giving Sasha a hard time if she's fighting for her spot. In my opinion, that's what all wrestlers should do. And yes, we know it's a fucking work, blah, blah, blah. But why aren't they wanting to win matches? I mean, why aren't they wanting to win championships? Why aren't they wanting to hold on to the goddamn titles once they have it? So I don't understand these fans who they want to think that the social media conflicts with these wrestlers are real, but then they get upset if the wrestlers don't fall in line and take their fucking porridge and their vitamins like good little soldier worker bees. So the point of the matter is this. Yes, I know Sasha had her fucking thing in the airport a few years ago, or she didn't want to be bothered in the airport. And I could be fucking wrong, but is Sasha Banks a fucking... Um, it's a religion that's a little bit off, no offense. Is she fucking... what the hell is it? Ah... I could be wrong. I don't want to go on record and say what I think it is, but just look into that. Jehovah's Witness. Is she a JW? And no offense to the JWs. They're good people. I've talked with them, but that is a bit extreme. Uh, so I don't know if I've answered the question. I'm very tired. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to make this video to satisfy the people that demanded my opinion. Are these wrestlers acting entitled? You had a precedent a few weeks ago, not the President of the United States, a precedent of the tag team, the Revival, saying, we're out of here, we're leaving. And then they got the belts, and then they lose the belts because the guy punches the guy in the face at the Hall of Fame. I don't know what to fucking say. I am kind of leaning towards talent on this one. Henceforth, I'm saying that I've kind of got Sasha Banks on this. Reason why, I don't blame her for being pissy. Now she's releasing this photo of her and Bayley. And so she's trying to say, no, we really did want to lose the belts. So she's on vacation. She's missing the Wendy Williams show. It's all a big fucking mess. Who the hell knows? Blah, blah, blah. MikeMessier.com.